Before I call it a night, I want to leave y'all with a thought. You can talk about Texas positively and negatively without needing to bring up any other games. It's all horror. There aren't feuding factions here unless we make them. So don't choose to make it a rivalry. So this is where I believe I made a mistake, and I think it's my responsibility to make a video like this. And going against your wishes, Matt, I'm sorry, but I probably need to address the elephant in the room, because even if this post wasn't directed towards me, I did something that was probably a mistake and was probably wrong. I made a video called "What Do Dead by Daylight Players Think of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?" The reasoning for making this video was, as a DBD streamer and YouTube content creator, I wanted to try to find a common ground between the two games so that both audiences from both games would possibly want to watch a particular video. It's kind of like YouTuber marketing stuff. And I drew the parallel that Texas Chainsaw is a cool, hip, new game that's asymmetric. So who are the majority of players that are going to be playing the game? They're probably going to be DBD players. So I essentially asked people what they thought about the game. There were a lot of people that compared it to Dead by Daylight, as in this was something that was going on through a lot of people's minds. What I didn't realize is that this kind of created this us versus them mentality, the very thing that plagues the DBD community when it comes to killers versus survivors. It creates a very toxic environment where one group thinks they're superior to the other and they're trying to one-up each other over and over again. This type of comparison makes the Dead by Daylight community excruciatingly toxic. And it's often said that comparison is the robbery of happiness. I committed that crime. And sorry, Matt, I feel like I have to do this again to see if I could just try to repair some of the damage that I had done. And also to inform others so that they don't make the same mistake that I did, which inevitably will happen due to the nature of content creation on both YouTube and Twitch. This may not have been pointed towards me. It might have been pointed towards a lot of people. I just don't like the fact that I may have exacerbated the problem a little bit. When we talk about comparison, whether on Twitter with likes, YouTube videos with the amount of views, Instagram with likes, Twitch, Rumble, Kick, viewership numbers, statistics are constantly being thrown in our face, and we compare and think bigger number, better. This has more views, so it's better. That has more likes, so it's better. Comparison creates an anchor, which creates in people's minds a sense of inferior or superiority, without taking into account any external factors like loyalty, how long something's been around, how old something is, the time something was created or posted. All these external variables, we're just throwing this number that doesn't tell us the full story. It's like comparing someone who's 80 years old to a 10-year-old and complaining to the 10-year-old, "Why don't you have a job? Where's the money for the rent? What the hell are you doing?" This is a great problem with the DBD community because they compared their game to VHS, Friday the 13th, Prop Night, and Ash vs. Evil Dead. It generates this us versus them mentality warfare that makes things really toxic, with an 80-year-old screaming at a 10-year-old child about why they're not having a midlife crisis. And it hurts not just community, but both games in a way by establishing a sort of rivalry. When Matt says to stop comparing because we're not feuding factions, he's completely right. Texas Chainsaw is trying to do their own thing. It's a 3v4 game, voice chat. You can talk to people. You can talk to your family friends. You can talk to your victim friends. It is an amazing experience where you try to power different exit gates. Each of the victims have different abilities that make them completely unique. Family members also have different abilities that make them completely unique. They're trying to be their own game. And with the people that like to compare and create a rivalry, they'll probably stick with their game. But there are people that are trying to get people to stop comparing, and I also urge you to do this as well, because they want to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre flourish. A casual, fun experience where you can play a party game with the other family members. And I'll just be honest with you, there is no comparison. It's completely different. It is a cool game that tries to do something unique and different. And in and of itself, when Matt says, "And if that's the only way your mind can categorize the two things, then by all means, play the other thing. But you don't need to tell us about it. We're good. We'll be here surviving and slaughtering and doing our own thing." It's actually a net plus. Because the people that want the game to flourish, survive, and do well will stay with the game. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of people like that. That's good. By keeping this us versus them mentality away from the nest, it makes the game overall healthier. And I should be apologizing for what I did because I wasn't really realizing the main reason for why this type of mentality was bad. And I kind of want to urge my community to try not to compare the two too much. I think Matt is right, and the developers have some really based takes that are really good from what I've seen on Twitter, and we can all learn a thing or two, because why can't they just both coexist and do their own things together? So I'm going to end this video with a sorry. I made a mistake, and I hope you guys don't continue to keep making the same mistake that I did, because these guys genuinely deserve all the success that they got. Thanks for watching.